taking the case to the Supreme Court. Thank you. Now, very significant on that type case, the issue of standing has already been resolved. That type case has already been up to the U.S. Supreme Court, and they have decided that the person bringing that case, the relator, has standing. So the standing issue is gone. We're hoping that the Supreme Court has guts enough to take a legitimate case, but I have my doubts. And that's why I'm here with you pursuing these efforts, because together we can force Obama out of office. By meetings like this, getting this on the internet, getting you to send the word out across this nation, getting people who, shows that I've been on even this week. I've been on Alex Jones this week, G. Gordon Liddy this week. In the past, I've been on Michael Savage and Lori Roth, and commentators who have guts enough to air this topic. And you have to demand it from the people in your various towns. There are people here from, I don't remember every place, yell it out. I know someone's here from Michigan, someone's here from Texas, North Carolina, where else? Boston, Maryland, where? Florida, Arkansas, Washington, D.C. But a young lady, where is she, that drove 20 hours straight from Texas? Who drove here? Right there. She drove 20 hours from Texas to be here today. And I commend those individuals, because it's individuals like you and I that will make this happen. Pennsylvania, of course, that's where I'm from. It's such an honor to be able to do this, and I just want to summarize everything here for you today. We're dealing really in a very scary, frightening situation, because we have an individual in that office, which I hate to even say as president, because he has no business being there. I personally believe he cannot be impeached because he's not legitimate. Okay? I think we have to force the issue. We have to force, and perhaps from Euronews, which is glad to be here for news around the world, because our national press won't cover this. So we're going to do it whatever way we can. We're going to record this. The recording of this is going to be put up on the internet. We're going to spread the word here, because this topic has to be discussed now, because we're in a constitutional crisis. Okay? Obama's going to be out of office one of these days. I don't think he could be reelected today for dog catcher, because how he's hurting this country. But behind the scenes, they pay money, they do a lot of things. Right now, we need a change in November. I'm a lifelong Democrat. As far as I'm concerned, throw them all out, because any Democrat that voted for that health care bill is outrageous. As I mentioned before, they took $500 billion from Medicare to pay for this new health care bill. They said your benefits are going to stay the same. Companies are dropping health care because the premiums are going up, the benefits are going down, the co-pays are going up. This is outrageous. 20 attorney generals are now have filed suit against the government on that suit, on that issue. Other things, so Obama, number one, has violated the Constitution by being in that office. Again, 35 years of age, 10 years living in the country, and number three, being natural born. He's not natural born. Oh, the one last thing, I mentioned that lawsuit which is pending in the D.C. I didn't mention why I'm doing it under the false claims. The reason I'm doing it under false claims is I believe Obama is not natural born. I believe he's not naturalized, and therefore he's an illegal alien. And my lawsuit is that because he was an illegal alien, his term as a United States Senator from Illinois was fraudulent. And the salary and benefits he received of about $1 million should be returned to the U.S. Treasury, and he should go to jail for that also. So it's not just the issue of presidency, but obviously, if he can't be a U.S. Senator from Illinois, he can't be president. So hopefully the Supreme Court will take that case, because it's really vital they do that. As I stated before, Obama is a fraud, a phony. This is the biggest hoax against the United States of America in 234 years. And it's time we have to get him out of there. He's violating the Constitution by the office. The Obamacare is blatantly unconstitutional because he's forcing everyone out there, every one of you, to buy insurance, and if not, you can be penalized. This is a disgrace. He's ready to call forth with this committee for Social Security, and people want to do away with Social Security. He doesn't care about you and I. He's a very arrogant individual. He cares about whatever he wants. He doesn't listen to the pulse of this nation because 70% of people in the country don't want Obamacare. Okay, he's dropped in the polls. He's about 36%. This is a time that we continue to put the pressure on, drop him further in the polls, change Congress, appeal Obamacare, but put the pressure on the media around the country, in your hometowns. Spread the word on the internet. If we didn't have the internet, we wouldn't be here today. But the internet does not cost you any additional. Send it to all your friends, your associates, your family members. Let's get this word out. Remember, what they put forth, the COLE, a certification of live birth, you cannot even register your child for Little League, and you can't get a passport for that. So it's really been an honor. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'll take for about 5 minutes here, if we can get one mic hooked up. Anyone have any questions? Come up to one mic here. Can we do that? Any questions? Just come up to the microphone here, and I'll try to answer them, and then we'll do a wrap-up. Anybody have any questions? Here we go. Here comes someone up here then.
First of all, I want to thank you for what you're doing for America, together with the rest of these great patriots that are present here. And
Thank you.
The questions that I have for you, I've heard about the fact that Obama is also using somebody else's social security number. Can you comment on that?
Great point. Now, the only problem with that is we've heard he's using a number from Connecticut. We've heard up to 60 different Social Security numbers. I'm not sure the whole thing on that, but it's something that should be looked into. If anyone has more than one Social Security number, it's fraud. And Obama, I believe, is fraud throughout. I mean, recently, I think they released his passport, but it was a passport that was just issued like 2 years ago. That doesn't mean anything. You know, we must see the original document. That's a great point on Social Security. It's just another factor in the life of Obama that, think about it, what do you really know? You know, but for his step-grandmother, we don't even know he was really born on August 4th, 1961. That's the only true evidence we have, other than his statement and the 2 announcements in newspapers. And I'm not too concerned about those announcements in newspapers. My children lived in a different state than I. When my granddaughter was born, I put an announcement in my local paper. That didn't mean she was born in Pennsylvania, because she wasn't. Okay, so that's the strong evidence. Another question? Right here.
If your lawsuit is successful, does that necessarily mean that the judge will eventually demand to see his birth certificate? And if so, we assume that the birth certificate will not be forthcoming, he won't be able to produce it, then what would the next step be? Would Congress then have to begin impeachment hearings, or what would result?
I think if any judge, or the justices of the Supreme Court, if any judge or justice decides to order a thing called discovery in the case, the ball game will be over. Obama will be out of office, okay? I don't know the next step. I don't know how we get there, but if the court would do it, I think Congress, all of a sudden, you'll see them like follow suit. Oh, we didn't realize this. We didn't realize he's a fraud and a phony. Nonsense. I really think members of Congress have committed, or are on the verge of committing treason for not living up to and following the U.S. Constitution. Think about it. They know he's a fraud. They haven't brought it forth. Their duty, they swore to uphold the Constitution. That's all the judges that have heard this case. That's the Congress, who at the joint session of Congress. They know it. You know what? If they would hold one, in my opinion, one congressional hearing on Obama, he'd be out of office. Just tell them, we want you to bring in here, subpoena all your records. Show us your natural born. And would they do it? They won't do it, because they know. Did I mention Congressman Posey? I don't think I did, but perhaps not. Congressman Posey, a Republican from Florida, introduced legislation stating that as of 2012, anyone running for president must show that they're constitutionally qualified to run for president. He's a Republican. He got 7 or 8 Republican members to join on real quick, but not one Democrat. And you know why? Because they know he's a fraud. They know he's a phony. If not, that legislation should just zip through Congress. It didn't. They know. They know he's a fraud. They know he's a phony.